going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. It's 1TS Daily right here at One True Sport. I'm your host, Zack Heydorn from Brass Ring Media. Happy Monday. It's Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Man, what a weekend. What a weekend. Hopefully you guys all had a good one out there. It's great to be back doing our show here, 1TS Daily. We're live with this show every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 Eastern, right here, talking the news of the day in professional wrestling with you. That's the key, with you. So thanks, everybody, for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, hello, hello. Appreciate you. Go ahead and hit that like button if you can. It always is a big help for us and the show and One True Sport. So if you're down and you can help support the cause, we certainly appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitter, hello, thank you. Thanks so much for being here. And of course, to our One True Sport members who are watching this right now or listening to this as an audio podcast, thank you for that. If you're interested in One True Sport membership, you can head over to onetruesport.com right now and see everything that we have to offer. We got 3 different tiers. We've got different price points on each of those tiers, but all of them give you access to not only some really great hosts and co-hosts and colleagues of mine, but some of the biggest names in professional wrestling history. Kurt Angle, right? RVD, Arn Anderson, Medusa, and others. So check it out. Check it out. And maybe you want to sign up right now today. It's at onetruesport.com. We also have a merch store there where you can get 1TS Daily merch. You can get merch from all of our superstars and so much more. It's actually, the merch is really cool, you guys. So I highly recommend, if you don't go to onetruesport.com to check out the membership options, take a look at the merch, because I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're listening right now and you haven't hit subscribe to our channel, subscribe. It's totally free to do it. Totally free to do it. And you will get all sorts of free content every day, right here on YouTube. So do that, guys. I've got the live chat open. Amy's already in there right now. Amy opens us up this morning and says, "Happy Monday, everyone." Yeah, Amy, happy Monday. Thanks so much for being here. Always good to see you. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. If you guys want to get your live chats in on any of our topics, ask questions, please do so. Dump them in the live chat. We'll get to as many as we can. Of course, I've got the super chat available and ready to go. So if you're able to make a contribution there, definitely helps us out to do that. I'll talk a little bit more about Brass Ring Media in a little bit. That's my shop that I run. We kind of focus on the the long form analysis of professional wrestling. And so hopefully you guys can check that out. It's Brass Ring Media, but more on that in a little bit. Sean's in the chat. Sean says, "Happy Monday, Amy." What's up, guys? Zach, love you, man. Or Zach, you the man. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, another tough loss this weekend. I think you're talking about the Bears. Oh man, Sean, dude, I don't know what to say about the Bears this season so far. I mean, I know it's 3 games. I expected them to have games kind of like yesterday, right? Where, and this is not a football show, so we'll be quick with this, but I expect them to have games where you have Caleb Williams, rookie quarterback, have some bad turnovers, that's going to happen. And so I didn't mind it as much as some people seem to have minded it. That's just me. I know it wasn't good. I know they lost, but I'll take 2 touchdowns, 363 yards of passing from Caleb Williams. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do against the Rams. Rams look good against the Niners yesterday. So we'll see. Sean, your Packers are rolling, man. Malik Willis is going to be an MVP candidate before we know it. All right, let's get into some wrestling. Obviously, that is why we're here at 1TS Daily. We talk all the news of the week and of the day. Some news stories that I definitely want to get to before we're off the air here. But first and foremost, let's talk about SmackDown on Friday night. And the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns segment. They're very cinematic in nature. Like if you were going to remember the days of the cinematic matches, this was certainly a cinematic promo. You had Roman and Cody standing in the middle of a big football stadium at Georgia Tech. They each kind of at first started to kick around, whose house is it really? Is it Roman Reigns because he played football there? Cody said, no, that's not it. It's my house. I'm from here. My home is here. I've got roots here. His dad wrestled at the Omni, and he's talked about that. He talked about come on, the other old big stadiums near Georgia. So, I thought this was really good. I thought this was really good, I'm somebody who liked, I liked the idea of cinematic matches back when you needed to do something like that to be different during the pandemic. Now, I'm not advocating for cinematic matches today, of course not, because that's not what wrestling is. But this worked for me. Like when you take a look at, okay, what are the goals of this segment? Well, I think the goal of it was to present two top stars, two top baby faces, and to showcase the tension between them. Like that to me is the real purpose here. Like, yeah, like of course you're showcasing the big stars. We get that. That's obviously that's part of it. But what are you trying to what story are you trying to tell between these two guys? What are you trying to tell your audience with this piece? And for me, it was tension. It was deep-rooted, personal, and business tension between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Once you lay the foundation for that, you're able to build on it. Okay, we know this tension is there. So now what? And Roman said in this promo, he goes, hey, okay, so what do you want? What do you want? And Cody just tells him, like, look, I want your word. I want your word that you're going to have my back so that I can have your back. Like that's a very, babyface moment for both guys to come together. So, but again, it's all built on that like layer of tension, layer of uncertainty, layer of cautiousness from both guys. From Roman's perspective, I thought he did a nice job. I thought he did a nice job of being Roman Reigns. We talked about this last week on Monday, like a week ago, how Roman hasn't changed too much of his demeanor or personality to be this baby face now, right? That was on display here too. Like this was not like white meat babyface Roman Reigns. This was edgy Roman Reigns. This was essentially heel Roman Reigns, but just kind of saying different things. Cody Rhodes, ultimate babyface, but with a little bit of an edge to him too. I think that's important. Like you don't have Roman just totally squashing. Cody in terms of presence and perception. So that was really good. And I like how they landed with, hey, we're gonna coexist. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this work. And I really liked that element of it. I thought the way it was shot was fun and interesting. Like this is not the type of strategy from a production standpoint that I think you need to see every month or every 6 months or even every year. Like I think you save this type of thing for truly, truly big segments. That is key. And I thought this warranted that. But you don't want to break this out for any old feud. Like we don't need to see this for Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for something like that. You need like epic encounters here so that they feel epic. And this did. I thought the drone shots were cool. Sean's in the chat. He says here, it was very good to me other than the music. Yeah, the music was a little over dramatic. If I were going to have one critique, I think that would be what it is. Because it was like, it just was over the top, just a little over the top. I think you could have done I think you could have done it without music, to be frank. But if you're going to pick music, you got to tone it back a little bit. Now, not that WWE is known for toning things back, but hey, it is what it is. Sean's asking a question in the chat. What did Roman mean when he said that Cody is in his way in life? Was a little strange. Yeah, man, a little strange. Yes, I think what he meant is just Cody, has gotten in the way of him, like just having his life together. Since Cody took down Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and took the title from him, Roman's lost everything. He lost his title, he lost his cousins, he lost his spot at the head of the table. So that's to me what he meant, that Cody's just in his way constantly now because of that WrestleMania loss. And I think I agree. I think Sean, like, Roman could have articulated that a little bit better, but to me, that's what he was going for. And like you said here, he also lost Paul Heyman. Yeah. Sean says, and Roman brought up how he lost Jimmy, Heyman, etc. Yeah. And so I think that's what he meant. And so I was okay with that. A little awkward, a little clunky, certainly. But I was okay with how they did that. So they're on the same page now. I mean, that in the end is what this was designed to do, that and build the tension. And so I think this is a thumbs up. I mean, I really think it's a thumbs up, and I think it's a unique way to present a big moment on your television show. Reports indicate that Paul Heyman had a lot to do with this, as well as Jeremy Borash and others. No surprise to see Paul Heyman's hands and fingerprints on this. This is right up his alley. Like, reports indicate he was in charge of pretty much directing, the talent through all of this. And you could tell. I think, there was a care taken with this. It wasn't done, like halfway. It was done all the way. And I think that's the only way to make something like that look good. You've got to go with it. Either go with it or don't go, but you can't go halfway, because that comes across looking really bad. We got War Shukla in the chat, and he says, or she says, is Roman the GOAT? Interesting question. Is Roman the GOAT? Like, for everybody who's watching live, like, just thumbs up, thumbs down. Is Roman the GOAT? I think he's one of the GOATs. Yes, I do. I mean, from a lot of metrics, he is. He had, like, the one little mark on his record is that he just had that kind of just bad babyface run from like 2014 to like 2020, really. I mean, it never really caught fire, but at the same time, he main evented multiple WrestleManias during that time. But really, from a business standpoint, I mean, he has been at the top of the card for 10 years now. And during that time, I mean, he has just been the face of a company that has just pulled itself up into the mainstream stratosphere of culture and entertainment. And he's been the guy. I mean, you talk about billion-dollar TV deals, billion-dollar Peacock deals, all this different licensing that WWE does. It's not all because of Roman Reigns. I'm not saying that, but he's at the top. He's the guy that's at the top of the company as that's going on. And so I do think he gets some credit for that. And, a key part of the pandemic era of wrestling. And that's not an era that I don't think people are going to be watching the pandemic era of pro wrestling very often. But when you do look back on it, I mean, you're going to think of Roman Reigns. You're going to think of Roman and the bloodline and kind of the uniqueness that was Roman's presentation during that time. And I think that's all important. So, yeah, I think he's up there. He's not the only GOAT, but he's one of them for sure. The boss says here, Roman came off fantastic in this package. He's lost everything and trusts no one. It's a new version of Roman that no one will be ready for. Exactly. And the key is he's not like a pandering babyface like he was back in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. That's not him. That's not him. And I think, you saw that wasn't him with the heel character. Like, that's just not his personality. That's not who Roman Reigns is. And now he can finally be a babyface that's tapping into who he is. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I'm glad we haven't seen too much of a pivot on that. I really think that that's good, that he's not trying to be somebody he isn't just because that's what babyfaces do. This is a lot more natural. As for Cody, again, I thought he looked good out there. Like, he looked good opposite Roman. Like, whoever's producing this, and thanks the boss, whoever's producing this, really made sure to take care in making sure Cody stands out as the champion. And that was really good too. And that was really smart. So yeah, this gets a big thumbs up from me. I really like this. Not something that you need to do every month or every year. I think you break this out when the situation calls for it. But on this night and for this pairing, this is top-notch stuff and top level, stuff that only WWE can pull off. I mean, that's just the reality. They got the star power, and so that's that. Amy's in the chat. She goes, "Good analysis, the boss." There you go. Love this. Love complimenting each other. Chat. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate you. Okay, let's get to some news here, and then we'll pivot to Monday Night Raw. Britt Baker, she will be returning to AEW TV. Not this week, but next week on AEW Dynamite. Next week is the 5-year anniversary show for AEW Dynamite. We already know that Will Ospreay is going to be defending the International Championship against Ricochet on that show, and they've added some star power here by putting Britt Baker on. I am very curious as to what they do with Britt Baker here moving forward. Like, it just seems to me that I don't know what her spot is, like, in the company anymore. Like, she comes in for like a big feud with Mercedes Moné, and then, she does the job and then she goes away. When there hasn't been any reporting as to how she felt about doing that job, but we know Britt Baker is prickly. We know she doesn't like to do that kind of stuff. And also she wasn't there since All In. So it's a bit of a situation. All that, even that aside, I still don't know where she fits in. I mean, you've got like Mariah May as your, world champion. You've got, you've got, let's see here. You've got Mariah May, Mina Shirakawa doing their thing, right? You got Mercedes Moné. She doesn't really have anything going right now, but she's already done business with Britt Baker. So I can't imagine they're going to go to that match again unless Britt needs to get her win back, right? So hey, that's something that you can't overlook. So you could be looking at Britt versus Mercedes 2. The thing with that is, I don't know that there's a market for that. I mean, you can do it for sure, but I don't know that. I just don't know that people want to see it again after kind of what was a disappointing match at All In. So it'll be interesting to see where she falls into place. I think, she is still good for the show. I do think that. Sean's in the chat here asking, is Britt more trouble than she's worth? Honest question, but probably a long answer. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Sean. I think it is a long answer. And I think the answer to me is yes. She's worth it. She's a good personality, like wrestling personality. She's gotten a lot better in the ring. She is a homegrown AEW star. I think that kind of thing does matter in a very, very big way, to have like your homegrown talent. So I just would do more with her. Like, what what I don't get about AEW in a lot of situations is the start and stops with this. If Britt Baker is a big star for your company, she needs to be on TV almost every week. She doesn't have to wrestle every week, but she's got to be doing something. It's like, that would be like, Cody not being on the show for WWE. It's like, no, he's one of the main characters on the show, so he's going to be on the show. It'd be like Judgment Day all of a sudden not being on Raw. Like, that's a key act of the show. So that person, that they need to be there. That rule doesn't really apply for AEW. Like, sometimes you see these big stars just take long leaves of absence, and I know that there's injuries and all that, of course, that's important. But by all accounts, Britt, after she came out of this match at All In, was fine, and yet there she is. She's not there. So I think that you can use her better and feature her better, and if you do, she can be valuable. She can be valuable to you. War Shukla's got some nice words here. He goes, I'm watching you for the first time, and you are more entertaining than Cody in years. Well, geez, you know how to make a guy smile, War. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Hopefully you check us out at Brass Ring Media. That's my shop. Yeah, I guess now is a good time ever to kind of talk about that. Our specialty is long form analysis of pro wrestling. We have a YouTube channel, and we are live on that YouTube channel almost every day of the week with specialty shows and shows from me, shows from my team. We also have so hopefully everybody goes and subscribes there, totally free. You can also get all of our live shows as podcasts. You just, wherever you get your podcast, just search Brass Ring Media, and you're good to go there. You can also check out our written work at Substack, and I just had a column, a kind of a scathing column go up over the weekend about Miro and the rumors that he's asked for his release. I talk about that. You can subscribe there, totally free. And if you want to support the Brass Ring Media cause, you want to become a member, we have a whole bunch of perks for our members. It's only $4 a month to become a member, and you can do that on Patreon, patreon.com/BrassRingMedia. Hopefully some of you guys check it out. I think if you like this show and the way we kind of handle this on a daily basis, I think you'll really like what we're doing at Brass Ring Media. So thank you. And thanks for the kind words, War. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Okay. Also in the news here, the AEW media deal with Warner Brothers Discovery is reportedly in the final stages, which we know. We talked about that last week. But according to the Mat Men podcast and Andrew Zarian, the pay-per-views, the AEW pay-per-views will finally make their way to Max in January. Zarian noted that those will still be able to be accessible on other platforms. So you won't need, presumably you won't need a Max membership to get it. But if you do, you will, you'll have access. Now, the report does not indicate whether or not you're going to have to still pay $50 for pay-per-views if you have Max. Like, are you getting them as part of your Max package if you have Max, or do you have, as part of your Max package, you have access to that? So it's a bit of a conflicting report as far as that goes. But we'll see. But it's worth noting that that's the first kind of real credible report, at least from my perspective, on the situation with pay-per-views and AEW with the new Warner deal. So we'll see. I don't get the sense we're going to hear anything this week with the TV deal. My guess is we get something next week for their 5th anniversary. That'd be my prediction. So you heard it here first. on 1TS Daily. All right, tonight, Monday Night Raw. We've got a couple, 2 big matches, and then a big segment. We've got Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship. We've got Sami Zayn versus Ludwig Kaiser in a singles match coming out of last week's show. And then we have Drew McIntyre out. He will speak and respond to CM Punk from CM Punk's kind of dark, twisted promo from last week. So I think it's going to be a really good show tonight. I'm looking forward to Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso for the IC title. I don't think that I just don't think that Jay is going to win the championship here. I mean, this is just tailor made for Braun Breaker to win, but they did a nice job setting this up as a TV match, and I want to see it pay off in a big way. I'm assuming it's going to be the main event. My guess is if you've been watching WWE programming the last year, my guess is you're going to get some like in-show hype for this. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Sean has some concern. He says here, Jay should not be Braun. The match worries me a little bit. It could be sloppy, and I don't like a battle of spears. Yeah. That's true. That's true. My guess is we don't even see Breaker take a spear. I think this is going to be more of a definitive win than meets the eye. I think, you want Braun Breaker, you got to protect. He has to come across strong. Like that's part of his gimmick. It's one of the unique things about his gimmick, and why like working as a babyface, things are going to be tough for him because he just has a gimmick of dominance. And if you lose that at any point, then you don't have like the essence of the Braun Breaker character around, and you need that. So yeah, it could be a little sloppy for sure. But I think if they construct the smart match, they can do this. They can do it the right way and have an entertaining match. Thanks, Jay. War is asking here, what's your thoughts on Jay's singles run? Well, I mean, it depends on what your perspective is. I would say that, overall, I think it's been really good. I think it's been really good. Jay is a signature star on Raw. He gets top-notch attention for his entrances. He gets promo time. He's a top merch seller. And so I think when you look at it from that perspective, it's gone really, really well. I think he's under-delivered in some matches, in a lot of matches. I don't know that he's really found his stride as a singles wrestler. I think his character and his presence and kind of the reaction that he gets and his booking are all ahead of where he really is as a singles performer when it comes to in-ring and when it comes to promos. I think his reaction just kind of outshines where he's at. And that's a little bit of an issue because when you hear that reaction, you think of a guy that should be way up here at the top, and he's not quite there. He's a little bit lower than that. But all things considered, I think, his singles run is a little bit over a year here. So, I think that after working as a tag team for nearly like 15 years, it makes sense that you're going to take a little while to get up to speed as a singles wrestler. I don't know that he ever will. I personally think this is probably his ceiling. He may get like a world title win, at some point just to kind of give him one. He may win the IC title just to get that singles gold, right? I think that's probably in the cards at some point. But I think in terms of like where he is on the roster and where he is on the show, I think he's probably at the top of his game, top of where he's going to get to. Right now. Sean kind of echoes my point here. Jay hasn't been good in the ring. He just relies way too much on the yeet stuff. Yeah, the yeet, it's a lot of yeet for sure. And that's going to run its course. Just like any gimmick like that, that's going to run its course, and he is going to need to lean on something else at that point. I don't think he's found that something else yet. He's still searching for that. Devon is in the chat here and asks question about AJ Lee. Is AJ Lee coming back? Hey, we'll see. You never say never, Devon. It doesn't seem like there's an urgency for her to come back. That doesn't mean she won't. That doesn't mean she won't. I can see her having some kind of short WrestleMania moment type thing on the same weekend that she gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Like I could see that being a thing. I could see that happening. Is she going to be a regular like week to week character and have like another run in WWE? No, I don't think so. Would it be cool? Yes. But I think I'd rather just see her as a one-off appearance anyway. I think, we don't know how she would fit in this WWE women's division. She does not come from a time where women were wrestling 20, 30-minute matches in the main event of WrestleMania. She just is from a different era. And so that's not to say she couldn't do it. We don't know for sure. And so I could see her maybe in a tag team of some kind, tag team match at WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble appearance, at some point. But I don't know that we see a long run from her. And we'll finish up with Amy here, who says, do we know exactly what is going on with Jimmy Uso? We don't. You had Rikishi post kind of a weird thing on social media over the weekend, and I think it was Friday, about Jimmy, and how to everybody keep their prayers for Jimmy. So we don't know what's going on. There's been no reporting as to what's going on. So we don't know, Amy, not yet. And as soon as I do, I'll let everybody know. But we don't right now. Hopefully he's okay. All right, guys, we'll put a bow on it there. Thanks so much to everybody who tuned into the show today. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats and live chats as always. Thanks for your questions and comments. Really makes for a very, very fun show. So appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll talk Raw, we'll talk NXT, and of course we'll talk all the news of the day. So subscribe. If you can like this video, please do. Always check out my work at Brass Ring Media. We got a great thing going over there with a great team, great members. So join us. Brass Ring Media on YouTube, Brass Ring Media on Substack, and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow right here at 1TS Daily. Bye.